We are live. AJ, this is exciting. We are live right now. And this is, if anybody doesn't know out there and they watch us on our horse racing show, this is our humble beginnings with football, AJ, and we're going back to it. And this is where we started with football. So we're here right now, and we're going to give you, we're going to go over the over-unders, and we're going to tell you what to play. AJ and I, and we're also going to play a little game with that, and we're going to give you the best prop bet of the year and also our division winners. And we have another shows coming up. AJ, are you excited for the NFL or what?
I'm really excited, but I'm also a little disappointed right now because StreamYard kicked us out of the Desean Nation Periscope. So now I'm kind of like, as we just start this show, obviously bad start, but I'm trying to get the info.
They did it last time with our horse racing show as well for some reason. So I don't know if you should keep going with that. But yeah, so we are here for everybody that's watching live. Awesome. Let us know if you have any questions or cool. If you're watching on tape, then we're going to do this every week. We're going to do a pick show where we're going to give our 3 best bets of the week. Also our best prop bet and a lot of other cool shit. So we're going with that. AJ, though, NFL, we're excited, right?
Oh, dude, it's going to be absolutely electric. You want to know why? Because not only are we doing this, I mean, this is a bonus show today because we still have to talk about all day Sunday. So we're going to talk about some props today. We're going to talk about this or season-long props, and then we've got a big game no more than 24 hours from now as the defending champions are at home against the Dallas Cowgirls. America's team, which is always hilarious to think about. I remember last year on Twitter, I talked to a bunch of people. I said, well, we'll get into that. I don't want to talk about that.
Okay, yeah, we're your hatred of the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah. Still, worst call ever against your Packers, and maybe that's why
that was a catch. It was a catch. Everyone knows that.
So anyway, so let's get into it right away, AJ. And like I said, we did come from football. So if you're thinking we're just horse racing guys, weirdly enough, we did come from doing football. We actually did XFL as well and signed with the XFL media when they come back. So we know our stuff a little bit. So let's go with it. Over-unders this year for the season. Let's get into it, AJ. What do you think? What's going on with you? How do you want to start this?
Well, we're trying to do this rapid fire. We cannot guarantee that it'll actually happen because I'm still also trying to work on the Periscope for all of our Desean Nation fans out there who look at Twitter. But I will get it figured out. Don't get me wrong. Let's start with the AFC East.
Okay.
We'll just rip through it that way and.
And AJ, I thought it'd be a funny thing to do, and I know you have the dice, and we're going with the dice. So we're going to see if AJ and myself, and we're going to keep note of this, the over-unders, and then we're just going to roll a dice to see if over-under, and see if the dice is smarter than us. I assume the dice is probably a couple points higher on the IQ levels of us, but we're going to go with that as well. So that'll be a fun little thing to do.
Hold on. Let me find it. It's not far from me.
You just had it.
I know. Got it. All right. So I don't know if you guys know Moneyline Dice on Twitter, but they do sell these like on Amazon and stuff. They're actually pretty fun to screw around with. This particular dice that we'll be using for this one, 6 sides over under on 3. So we'll roll that and we'll see if we'll see if we even know what we're talking about.
You know what's funny? You're probably better off with the dice. I mean, let's just face it. And obviously AJ probably uses this. So, all right, let's get into it. So we're going to the AFC East first, AJ. So why don't you start it off and let me know who we're going with first?
All right. So, God, I just had it in front of me. You have the over-unders for each team, correct?
I do. I don't know if we're the same because we might not be looking at the same thing, but I'm pretty sure they probably are.
Well, we'll just go with whatever you got. So, try to get prepared to write it down. So, the Bills.
Yep.
What's the over under?
I have the Bills at Where are they? Okay, I'll find them in a second. It's way too high for my taste. 10.5.
Over.
You're going over with the Bills? See, here's the thing. I'm going under with the Bills. And real quick, I'll get into that. That's why. I think we've seen this Josh Allen thing a million times before. We've seen it, haven't we? I mean, is this guy that good? Or
like, well, I watched him win 13 games last year.
Sure,
so.
Absolutely. With the Cam Newton Patriots and everything like that, Patriots will be back this year. The Dolphins will be better. I go divisions, by the way. So I'm going to go under because I think they're going to be that weird overrated team with the Bills. So I'm going to go under because I think they'll win 10. I don't like 10.5. I know 17, and that's a weird thing. So everybody out there, remember that there's an extra game. I'm going to go under with that. I just think we've seen this trick before. There's no running back. They have no running game there, right? They're going to stack the box and make him throw the ball, and he can't run like those guys do. We've seen this before with a lot of quarterbacks. He had a terrible rookie year, like 20s in every category, right? Ranked 20s in every category.
So you're going to base him off his rookie year 2 years ago?
No. And then he has a good year and nobody cares. And then he has a letdown year. Isn't that what a lot of quarterbacks do? Do you remember Lamar Jackson, that guy? Didn't he do something like that?
Okay, but he didn't win the MVP and then bounce down. He legitimately was like, he's built up to this point. He wasn't like a sensation where it's like, oh, now everyone's going to be gunning for him. I think there's a lot different scenario than that.
Well, no, but I think we've seen this before. I think they figured this guy out. He's got to show me more than he showed me. And I think the Bills just aren't that good. I mean, I know it's not a great division, and I do go by that. But give me 10 wins because I think it'll be a punching division that everybody's going to have around the same record. And it's all going to be around 9 wins.
All right. So real quick, though, we are live on Periscope. So our friends there on Twitter can now watch us. So if hopefully we'll get a few more people joining in instead of just Tom, who's just going to keep saying "Go Cowboys" all the time. Clearly, he knows a whole lot. But no, I mean, you say they figured him out. I just don't see that because he's gotten better every time. I don't know.
But so did a lot of people. But that's what I'm just saying. Yeah. Go for a letdown years, and I have a lot of letdowns here. COVID year, it's a whole asterisk thing. We'll get to that when I talk about the Buccaneers.
No.
But
no.
Letdown.
Anyway, all right. So next one, Miami. Since you like this division so much, what about
Miami?
We
didn't roll the dice.
Oh, dice is over. Dice agrees with me.
Oh, stupid fucking dice. All right. So dice is over. There you go. All right. So the dice is over. All right, so we're going with Miami, and Miami we have at. Let me look real quick. Do you have it in front of you right now?
No, but I can start bringing them up.
Okay, I'll tell you then. Hold on, give me a second. I went off of my chart
because you put it in alphabetical order, which we all know that who does that?
Because that's how weirdly anal I am, I guess. All right, so we're going with Miami now. Miami, the Dolphins are 9. What do you think about that?
Under.
You're going under? See, I'm going like that. That's a hard one for me because what did I just say? I think there's going to be a bunch of teams battling out there that are like 9 wins.
Yeah. I'm
going to go under as well.
I love their secondary, but I mean, I can't trust Tua when you had Ryan Fitzpatrick. I mean, he was a closer pretty much last year, and now he's your starting pitcher. I don't understand. Like, that doesn't comfort me any. I know what are they? I think they won 10 games last year, but I can't trust that. I don't think they got a. Yeah, I'm sticking with under. You went under too.
I'm going to go under 2. That's one that I think they might hit on the button when I said like it was 9 wins, but I am going to go under on that as well, which just means, I mean, could they win 10 games and be 10-7 in that division? Like I said, and I know I'm going to contradict myself because it's like, well, if you don't think the Bills are good, then who's going to win the games? I think they're going to beat each other up. I think it's going to be an ugly division. So listen, if I had to bet the 9 win, I would. There's probably something for that. And I'm going to go with the under there as well.
The dice went over. So
of course it did. But why wouldn't it? I mean,
this will be
Josh Allen is the man. But he's a Cowboys fan, so whatever.
What does he realistically know about football? All right, so you need a line? You want me to get it?
No, go ahead. Just tell me.
All right, I got New England at 9.5.
New England at 9.5. Here, once again, it's another one around. It feels like all these teams in the same division are around the same number. I'm going to go with New England is going to go over. And this is not me at all being a homer because I can't stand New England growing up there, and I chose the wrong team growing up, definitely. But I just think that what are my notes on here? I just think Belichick will figure out a way to figure out this division, and that's 6 games. And if he can win 5 of them, they're going to win 10. You have 9.5. Is that where you're at, AJ? Is that what it is?
9.5.
Yeah. I'm going to go over. And I think New England's going to win this division. Oh, I just jumped the shark.
100% over on this for me. When you, out of all the rookie quarterbacks between Trevor Lawrence, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, everyone who's come in, Mac Jones got Cam Newton, who has won the MVP of this league, cut. Looked amazing, easily the best performing rookie in preseason so far. And so coming in now, he's got the reps, he's got everything. I don't know if this schedule's tough enough. I don't know if he'll see enough good defenses because, I mean, he played at Alabama. He's seen the best of the best, especially even in practice, probably most of the time. I think Mac Jones is going to have a solid year because he only has to do enough, which we watched Tom Brady do year in and year out. You just have to be good enough, and this team will go places. Bill Belichick will take you places. I think this is an easy 10-win team here.
I mean, listen, Jonnu Smith,
not to mention
Hunter Henry
of the refrigerator tight end and John.
Yeah. I mean, and they had injuries all of last year. This hurts me, everybody. This hurts me to talk well of the New England Patriots.
Their two best defensive players opted out for COVID last year. And this team still was fairly competitive in a lot of games.
But I'm going over and shocker to everybody when I said division, they're winning division. Sorry, Josh Allen.
Well, we were going to talk about that later.
I know. I said sorry.
And guess what? The dice is going to go opposite and have the under. This dice is either going to kick our ass or it's going to get its ass kicked.
Stupid. Yeah.
All right. So here's one. The Jets over 6.
Oh, under.
Yeah.
Even though I said I meant the 3 teams were going to be that way. And that's why those 3 teams are going to get the 9 wins and 10 wins because they're going to have 2 of them against the New York Jets.
Dice have the under as well.
I do think the Dice hate the Jets.
I do think they'll be better than they were a year ago. But you still have a rookie quarterback who I'm not a huge believer in. I think he's okay, and you've got Salah in there. I like Salah. Yeah, it's still hard to think that you're going to win more than 6 games because your team is still pretty dog shit.
Yeah, I mean, once again, I'm getting used to the 17-game schedule when I think 6 games. I mean, I'm still mentally not there. But 6 isn't like a bad year with 16, when you come back from being awful. Are they on the upswing? But upswing could be 5 wins. But they aren't in a great division. I really don't. I don't think when we said the Jets, the Dolphins, and the Patriots, are they powerhouses that could put up a ton of numbers? No. 6 still seems high. Still seems high to me.
Still seems high for a team for somebody who won 2 games last year.
I'm over 3. If they put 5, that would be. I feel like 5 would be the right number. So I'm going to go under.
Yeah, under 100% there. Kansas City, as we move on to our next division, Kansas City over under 12.5.
This is a weird one because I
know
feel
where
like
you're going to go already.
Kansas City it matters how, once again, I'm going to go back to the divisions, how their division is. And is their division going to be really good or really bad? Because 12.5 all day long, if, the Raiders don't show up, so it really depends on whatever it is. This is a hard one for me.
I don't know if this sways you anyway either, but the over is plus 120. The under is minus 140.
So people aren't playing the over at 12.5. So I'm going to take the over because I'm not believing in that division that much. I'm not the Broncos or Bridgewater. I'm not, San Diego might be trouble. But 13-4 now, not 13-3, 13-4. That's a good number. The 12.5 is a good number. Good job, Vegas. You know what? I'm going to switch it. I'm going to go to under now. I'm going to switch what I have on my notes because 12-5 seems like a really good record that could just tie everything up anyway. And I don't know. So I'm going to go under because I'm going to say 12 wins.
That's fair, but I think 14-2. I think they go 13-4, probably somewhere around there. And I haven't actually looked at the actual schedule, like game by game by game. I've looked at a couple of them actually, but this one I have not. I would imagine they won 14 games last year. Edwards-Helaire is not going to his second year. Patrick Mahomes, an MVP. Tyreek Hill is not slowing down. Travis Kelce is not slowing down. I think this team is going to get. They're no worse than they really were last year, in my opinion. So to say they're going to go under, that's a little off for me. So I'm going to say over. The dice, I'm going to go over. I think they win 13. I think 13-4 is a solid number. It's a tough over, but I will take it, especially if I'm going to get 120.
I know that's what I was thinking too. With the price, you do it.
Yeah. The dice agrees with me. They are on the over as well.
It does show me that the betting public is going under more, obviously. So check that out.
All right. So next one in the division, the Las Vegas Raiders. The over is at 7, minus 110 both ways.
I want to say over a lot here. They got rid of their offensive line, correct, AJ? Didn't they pretty much? Yeah. That's scary. Always. Like, I think the line's the most important thing in football. Everybody knows that knows anything about football. I think their defense is good, and I'm going to go hard under on the next two. 7's a good number. That's a good number for them. That's why they're Vegas. I'm going to go over.
Over, wow. I already marked you down for the under.
8-7. 8-7. I think they're good enough. I don't think
8-7. You mean 10-7?
I'm sorry, 8-9. 8-9. 8-9, which isn't a good record now. It's not the 8-8 anymore. 8-9. So 8 wins.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting too. A lot of these ones, just because of the extended schedule, it's almost like, are you a good team if you go 8-9? Are you a terrible team if you go 8-9? Like, yeah, this is an interesting way to look at a lot of these win totals, just strictly because there's an extra game, especially some of the props we'll talk about later. But I'm going hard under. I like the Raiders. I like a lot what they did last year. They burned me so many times because I bet on them. But I think now, guess who's in that division? And you don't have an easier 2 games anymore. I think the Chargers are going to be a much better team. Mm-hmm. Anthony Lynn is gone. Anthony Lynn might have been I deserve to be an NFL head coach more than Anthony Lynn. He's a great coordinator, but he does not deserve to be. He made some of the worst decisions all last year, consistently, all the time. This team is easily way better. And let's go right on from that. Let me get the dice real fast. Dice says under. Dice is under with me.
I'm going to actually, and I didn't tell you this before, but I'm going to go on my over pick even more, AJ, and you're going to be upset by this. They play the NFC East.
Yeah, but they're just as
enough said. I mean,
Right, but then doesn't every other team in that division play the NFC East?
Yes, but it doesn't mean they're going to win a
So
certain amount of games.
well, they're going to beat they're like it's 3 more games. You're going to lose all the ones in your division.
You think they're going to lose them all in their division?
The Raiders are scrappy, and when you got Gruden, you can steal a couple. But I can't look at the Raiders playing Washington or even Dallas and say to myself, that's an easy win for them.
Yeah, sure. Those two. But what about the Eagles and the Giants?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I think the Giants are going to be a weird underdog because they are also in that crappy division. I mean, it might be another like you win 7 games, you make the playoffs type of season because I don't know. Or the Cowboys might just run it with Dak back. Who knows? But let's move on to the Chargers, whose number is at 9.5.
9.5, the Chargers. Let me see. Hold on. Let me get back to my thing here. The Chargers. I heard you say you think they're going to be better already. Do you think? Well, I guess we should have did that. Well, I guess we're going to lead into the divisions. I'm looking up on my thing now, San Diego, because I still am considering them San Diego.
Or maybe you've been there every year or every weekend for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty bad. They're 9.5, right?
9.5.
And obviously, so they're playing the NFC East, NFC least. I got to go with the fact that it's another good number. I'm gonna go over here because I do think they're gonna be a better. I think this kid Justin Herbert, I think is gonna be the real deal. And I don't think their schedule's that bad. I don't think Denver's going to be very good, and I think they can at least split with the Raiders, and I think they could maybe split with the Chargers. Yeah, so I got to go over 10-7. I'm going to go over.
Yeah. So this is an easy over to me. They actually got one of my favorite players in that draft last year in the second round, and Asante Samuel Jr. for the defense. They tried to protect Justin Herbert, who's obviously going to be the absolute future for them. I loved Chris Rump from Duke. I think this team is starting to come together. And again, get rid of Anthony Lynn. And I think this team can do great things because I thought he was absolutely terrible last year. So I'm hard on the over there. The dice is also on the over.
All right, so everybody's on the over. And quick thing, Nathan asked thoughts on KC. I know we talked about him a little bit, but AJ, what do you think? Your thoughts on KC, real quick?
No, like I said, I had them over. What was it, 12.5?
12.5, yeah.
Yeah, 12.5. I mean, you're talking about they won 14. I don't see them slowing down realistically, as long as that team stays healthy. I mean, they're a lot like the Packers that I've watched now forever, where it's like, the defense is suspect so many times, but the offense is just so good. I don't think Tyreek Hill and Kelsey, Edwards-Helaire is only going to get better now coming back for his second year. I think this whole offense is just going to continue to just fire on all cylinders like they have. I don't think there's any reason to see them slowing down, injuries aside. But as long as Patrick Mahomes is playing 17 games this year, they probably win 14.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I meant to put up the other one. Yeah, I think you're right. But I also think everybody comes back to the earth when they're that good because everybody plans for you. And, and like I said, that 12.5 was right on the number. AJ saying 13, I'm saying 12. That's literally a coin flip. So yeah, I mean, I think, yeah.
I mean,
but
you're
I
talking
also
about a team that
think
went 14-2 last year and now
they're
comes back, you
building
get an extra
teams.
game.
They're building teams to beat you now, though. That's the thing. We always see, and they have to evolve. Let's see if they evolve or not.
Yeah, but okay, so we haven't got to Denver yet, but
We're going there right now.
I mean, but the Raiders or the Chargers aren't getting there, but I don't know if they're there yet. Maybe in a couple of years.
All
and
right.
then now let's talk about the Broncos. Their number is at 8.5.
I'm going under all day. I think, I mean, listen, Teddy Bridgewater's had a pretty bad, go of it, right? I mean, pretty unlucky with everything. You kind of vote for him and everything like that, but they're just not a good team. Not only do I think they're not going to win 8.5 games, I think they're always, because they're such a huge market, and we'll get into that, overrated a lot. And I think they're very overrated here. If this number was 6.5, I might take the under here. So I'm going with under all day long with Denver.
Well, it's funny you mentioned the markets and stuff too. And here's what's hilarious about this is the under 8.5 is plus 105. The over is minus 130, which I think is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
Because everybody loves the over. Yeah.
I will say this, okay, there's pieces in place. They did well in the draft, I thought. But again, so just because you do well in the draft, I mean, you may be adding one impact player out of that class that's going to make an immediate impact. Most of those you'll see 2-3 years, maybe towards the end of the year. But I mean, I think, and this is no disrespect to Teddy Bridgewater, but you're pretty much swapping between Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater. I don't think there's a bigger upside with Teddy than there is Drew Lock.
I agree.
They're just.
I agree.
It doesn't seem any more there to me. You lost Philip Lindsay. I mean, I just don't. I know a lot of people really
and Von Miller. Come on, Von Miller has been always. I mean, he's not even Jason Taylor. I'm sorry, everybody. I know you want to make a big deal about Von Miller, but Von Miller is not even what Jason Taylor was. I mean, he was a straight rush guy, and he's back. Who cares?
Yeah. It's funny that you say that just because, well, I mean, you got Surtain in there, but is Surtain going to be just a massive impact player right now? I don't know. Maybe he'll play, obviously. But I was on a show with a bunch of Packers fans for a Gold Zone show that we did. I said straight up, because we were talking about the possibility of Aaron Rodgers going to Denver. And I'm like, if Aaron Rodgers goes to Denver, it's Aaron Rodgers. I get it. You're a contender all of a sudden, but I don't think they're world beaters. This team isn't that great. And again, Von Miller, Mark Schlereth, who is a very popular Denver Bronco, even said Von Miller should be traded.
Yeah.
He doesn't fit that system that well. I mean, he's just, I think I called him on our show one of the most overrated linebackers I think there is right now. I don't think he just steps in. Kyle Van Noy to me is just is integral to Miami as Von Miller is there, and that was a big part. And again, he's a big part, but he doesn't wreck games. He doesn't come in like Khalil Mack and make that Bears defense.
No, he's not even. He's not even like Clowney when he plays, who's disruptive. He's not. I mean, it's just not. I mean, it's not anymore. It's. So all right, so we're both going under here. What's the dice say?
Dice went under as well.
All right, so everybody's going under. And I'm going big under there. It's one of my best bets, I think, is that under there.
Especially if you're going to give me plus 105. I'll take that all day. This seems like a very weird, Cleveland Browns a couple of years ago when everyone thought Cleveland was going to be amazing.
Denver always gets that weird love, though. That's what I said. That market is weird love. It's a lot of money. It's like the Cowboys. It's like the Packers. It's like the Patriots. You can always almost add a game. For real. I mean, you got that money coming out, and
here's one. Here's one. I bet we disagree on. Pittsburgh Steelers 8.5.
Well, I'm going to go under.
Yep.
Here.
Yeah. I do.
I just think this is the cliff. This is it. But the thing is, I also am not going to jump on the Browns bandwagon or the Raven bandwagon. So this could be a smash mouth division in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that number at 8.5. I could coin flip between 9 and whatever, but I do think this is it. I'm going to go under. I think this is it for the Steelers. I think this is the end of the, I don't know. And they'll rebuild and they'll be fine, but I think this is it.
If I could move this to 10, I would. This is not even close to me. And I'll give you the reason why. Is I watched Mike Tomlin go 9-7 with Mason Rudolph. He gets Ben back. He wins with 12 or 13 last year.
12, right?
12.
Yeah.
Won 12 last year. It's not like this team has got bad. This defense is still pretty solid. I mean, we're waiting to see on TJ Watt, I believe, right now. But I to me, it doesn't matter. I think, to me, Tomlin wins 9 games pretty much every time he steps on the field for a season in the NFL, which is fine. Like, I know he's only got like one Super Bowl, but still, regular season, this division isn't that great. You still get to play the Bengals twice, which I'll talk about the Bengals. I don't think they're that great. I know Jerry Burr's back, but you still can't protect him. This division had 3 playoff teams last year. The Ravens don't overwhelm me. The Browns don't overwhelm me because the Browns can lose any game at any time. Like, I say any given Sunday, any team can beat any other team. The Cleveland Browns on any given Sunday can lose to any given team at any time, just because they're not the good. I think this is an easy over to me, especially I'm getting plus 110 here.
Yeah. Well, listen, this is a division I would stay away from totally. I wouldn't bet this either way, and I hear what you're saying, and it makes sense to me. I mean, if you're telling me to pick one right now, I would just go the under because I think, this could be the time that they don't do that. But I hear what you're saying. I wouldn't bet it. And I think D-Rest needs help, and we should probably get him into rehab.
We're almost there, D-Rest.
First of all, D-Rest at 16 games, and they play 17. So are you not including
they're forfeiting one.
Yeah, which is going to be a no contest. No, listen, I got you. I'm going to go under just because I think, sooner or later the Pittsburgh are going to have that terrible year, which they really never do. They really don't.
Yeah.
They're a solid franchise. So I probably should go the over here at 8.5 because that means if I go under that, they're under 500. And that doesn't happen much. So I would say the smart play is the over, but I'm going to say under just to disagree with AJ here. And what's the dice say?
Dice is on me with the over. Okay. So the next one, obviously, will be the Ravens, which I can't wait to talk about this one. We should probably speed this up because we've gone a long time on this one. Ravens over 11.
Under all day long.
Under is getting you minus 120. Let me 1 second. I had this down already. This was actually one of my notes.
I think 10. I think 9-10. I don't think 11.
I won 11 last year. Finally got that playoff win. I will say, God, I'll go over just because of I give a better bang for my buck. The dice says under.
Under.
Here's a fun one.
All right.
The Cleveland Browns, 10.5.
Well, I know where you're going on this, AJ. But I have 10.5 is a lot. This is going to be another division. I think there's going to be a lot of divisions that are like 10 and whatever. They play trying to look at it now, who they play here. They play
talking about week 1?
No. They play your division over there in the NFC, which isn't very good. So I'm going over because somebody's got to win here. And it's not going to be Cincinnati. So what was the number? Did you just say? What did you give me?
10.5.
Yeah, I'll go over because I think some team's going to win 11. It's going to be them.
I'm going over as well.
Wow.
I think. Well, I know I have this massive disdain for Baker Mayfield, but He continued that when that was like 2 years ago. We talked about this. So and he's gotten better. Like he's good enough, and they have such a great rushing attack. The defense is better. They have Clowney now, right? Is that right? Or am I?
I mean, maybe. I mean, who knows with him? He's signed with everybody in the last 2 years.
Yeah, he may not make an impact at all. But no, I think finally got your first playoff win. Yeah, they're going over. Dice agrees it's going over. We all have the over on Cleveland. So let's move on to the last one in that division, the Cincinnati Bengals at 6.5. Can we all just agree it's the under?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, this is the Jets to me. Same team. We're going under.
The dice even has the under. Yeah, you don't do anything to actually, you don't bring in anybody notable besides rookies in the draft to protect Joey Burrow, who's the future of your franchise. The offensive line has got better, and he got his ass kicked all last year when he did play. I know they've been on this big Twitter rant about how they have the best wide receiving core in football, but one of those players has not played a down in the NFL. So I know I like Jamar Chase a lot, but until I see him on the field, I'm not going to make judgment. So don't come at me like your receiving core is any better than Devontae Adams and MVS and Amari Rodgers, because it's pretty much the same thing.
Or Tennessee.
Or how about AJ Brown and Julio Jones in Tennessee? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
we're on the under with Cincinnati. I agree.
Yeah.
They're just Cincinnati, and sorry, but and as much as I wasn't whatever, it's still a tough division. That's a tough division. It's a tough division. So
you're talking about one that had 3
Cincinnati
winners last year.
Yeah.
That division. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go on. Speaking of Tennessee is under is at 9.
I think Tennessee always is they go over almost every year on this, and I think they'll go over this year. I don't think that division is whatever. I mean, they might get 6 wins in that division, quite honestly. I mean, they might have the best. I mean, this is not even me being a homer. 9 is ridiculous when Cleveland's at 10.5 and everything. I think they go over easy. No doubt. Tennessee goes over. I mean, they might give up the most points ever, but I actually think their defense they can't be any worse than they were last year. So their offense is definitely better. Their tackles, let's see how Luan comes back with his knee injury. But we'll see.
No, this isn't even hard to think that this Titans team can't win. What I say, 9 games?
9, yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. They might end up being the best offense in football.
Yeah, they were last year, really.
So you win. What did they win? 10 or 11 games last year.
Yeah.
And then you bring in Julio Jones. You still have Tannehill, who went 33.
And they have an extra game now.
They went 33-7. Tannehill went 33-7 last year. 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He was easily one of the most underrated. 10 years ago, he throws 33-7. He might win MVP.
Yeah.
And you bring him back. You have a 2,000-yard rusher in the backfield, and you bring in one of the best wide receivers in football.
Yeah, come on. I know.
Really? 9 games. Let's.
And you have the best running back in football. I mean, no one can argue that behind you.
You say, Christian McCaffrey's a great fantasy quarterback or fantasy running back when he's healthy, which isn't very often.
I meant an actual NFL
Saquon
game.
is but I know fantasy football is such a big thing now. I think people think that that's what makes a good running back, but it's not. Guy ran for 2,000 yards. He was legitimately more effective than a passing play in most long yardage situations. No other running back in NFL history can say that. That is ridiculous. So I think just the fact that you might have the best offensive football, you're going over regardless. The next one, the Colt, is also at 9, which is crazy.
Under all day. I don't even understand that being the same. They might hit 9. Don't get me wrong. They might hit 9. But I think 8, where the part is, I feel like Tennessee is going to win 12-13. and the Colts might win 10 or 11 and no one cares. But it's a good number. I'm going to go under, though. I just don't think the Colts have what it takes this year.
And I'm not saying this. I know I'm wearing a Colts jersey, but I'm not actually a Colts fan. But that being said, I think 9 is an easy over for me. Just because I know you can say what you want about Carson Wentz. I don't really like him all that much either. But this is an offense in a team that Phillip Rivers came into last year and won 11 games. I think the defense is there. I think they've got a lot of good pieces in place. It's a very talented team. I think Jacoby Brissett won like 8 or 9 games with this team. It doesn't matter to me that Carson Wentz is under center. I think the ceiling is higher because he's under center than it was with Phillip Rivers. Obviously more long-term, but even right now, especially the fact you still get to play Jacksonville twice and you still get to play Houston twice. There's 4 wins. Just find some others.
That's a good point. And I think they play the NFC West as well. I think, they play the NFC West as well. So that's something because I'm not huge on San Francisco and, so yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying here. I mean, they're a weird team. Like I said, I think the number is good. If I could go right on the number, I would say yes. But you're right. I mean, like I said, I think Tennessee might run away with the division and they could win 11 games.
That's 9 and 8, though. I think they're a better team than that.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm still brainwashed. That like 9 wins is really.
It's 9 and 7 in over 500. Yeah, with a playoff shot. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
All right, so let's quickly fly through these next 2 because they're pointless. Houston Texans over under 4.
I'm going to go over on that one. Just to make you upset. I'm going to go over, and it's going to be like 5 really bad wins.
Based off of what?
I don't know.
If you had Deshaun Watson, he told me they were
based off of Jacksonville. Well, okay, so if I'm going to go the Jacksonville, what are they going to split, right?
I think Jacksonville beats them both times.
Do you really?
That whole franchise is just garbage right now.
It really is. I'm going to say it again. 4 is a great number. That's what they did. But I'm going to go over just to be a pain in the ass to AJ. And I knew he was going to go under here. So I'm going to go over. Did we see what the dice did on the last couple? Did you roll them or no?
Yeah, I've been saying it. They went over on Tennessee and Indy. And they go over on Houston.
Yeah, boy, dice.
I'm going the under massively. The under is plus 100. And the over is minus 120. God, no way. Going forward, Jacksonville, 6.5.
Well, I guess it comes down to like when you look at, I mean, don't you think the NFC West is going to be incredibly mediocre or no?
No.
Oh, really? I guess we'll get into that. Actually, I'm going to wonder on all those people there. But
you have this like weird bias against the NFC, so yeah, I get what you're saying, but
because they usually suck. I mean, let's face it.
Okay, the Jaguars won 2 games last year, 1 game. Like, does Trevor Lawrence make up for the fact that your team is still terrible? You probably traded away your best offensive player in Gardner Minshew.
Oh, so are we on Jacksonville now? We're on Jacksonville then?
Yeah, Jacksonville's 6.5.
Under all day.
Oh yeah. Then I don't know what were you debating?
6.5 is Jacksonville. You're right. It is. I'm looking at it.
That's the Trevor Lawrence effect. Like, cool. Trevor Lawrence might be good. I don't think he will be, but he might be. Right now, he's not gonna make up 6 games.
No. I think under all day long. That's a great bet. What's the underpay?
Underpays minus 145, so they're under.
Wow, everybody's playing the under. That's a high over under 6.5. I would have made that 4 as well.
I mean, I think you have to in the division. All right, so moving along quickly, we are finally on to the NFC. Washington. We've been doing this for a while. Let's Washington. Let's just speed through it. Washington 8.5.
I think Washington goes over 8.5. Somebody's going to win that division. I think it's between two teams. Washington goes over 8.5 easy. I just think, I mean, is Ryan Fitzpatrick there? He is, right?
He is.
That's all that matters. Yeah, over.
I will tell you, Ryan Fitzpatrick is there, but it doesn't matter because there is one man that matters for that, and that is Taylor Heineke.
Yeah, Taylor. Yeah.
So I'm going over. The dice went under.
Fuck the dice. All right.
Dice. What is the
Games,
dice?
Let's go. NFC East.
Yeah, NFC East. New York Giants over 7.
New York Giants over 7, and Tom, watch your mouth. You don't want to say that here. The Giants under all day. Under.
If the odds were better, I'd take the over just because, but because I don't know what Daniel Jones is going to do. But under is plus 110, so I'll take the under as well. The dice says
that's
over.
New York money. That's the only thing that 110 is, because that's not a good team. And can I hear about Saquon Barkley for the 6th straight year?
When he won't play more than 8 games.
Please say spin Barkley. Wow, he's great. But yeah, so all right, let's go on. Giants under. I think that's easy. What's the dice say?
Dice went over.
Damn fucking dice. Dice is probably gonna be right on everything. It's the worst part.
I know. We'll lose it all. All right, next one. Dallas Cowboys 9.5.
Dallas Cowboys 9.5. 9.5. That's Dallas getting the extra game we talked about. You know what I mean? Because that shouldn't be 9.5. Even though I think the two other teams are going to be really bad, so maybe we'll get 4 there. I got to go. I'm going over. I'm going to go they win 10 games. I don't think – I can get to the divisions in a minute. But
look, they won 6 last year with Andy Dalton. Dak's back. That seems reachable because I think the Giants probably might be worse. Washington could win the division, but they still might only win a few games. What's the Cowboys schedule look like? Patriots, Broncos. Broncos, they beat the Broncos. Chiefs might be tough. Raiders, they can beat them. Saints, they can beat them. Actually, the schedule is a lot tougher than I originally anticipated.
Yeah, remember I said they were playing that division before.
Yeah, you're going to start off with 2 straight losses. I actually took notes on this. What did I say? I'm going to go under.
All right. I mean, I think that's a money play is under, because I think Dallas always gets an extra game or 2.
Over is 115.
Yeah.
Dice agree with me. They're going under.
Yeah, but I think they set the line higher. So, like I said, it's the Green Bay, New England, Dallas. There's certain teams that get that extra game because they know they'll get people to bet it.
All right. So Eagles 6.5.
Under. I think they win 6 games if they're lucky. I mean,
bite your tongue.
Is Jalen Hurts?
Kick you out of this chat, Tom.
I just that's what I said. Tom needs to watch his mouth. I had that up there earlier. I think 6 games if they're lucky. I mean, Jalen Hurts.
Overs minus 150, unders plus 120.
Are we buying Jalen Hurts at this point? Are we jumping on board or what?
You mean you lost Doug Peterson, so that might be good. The way they ended last season.
Yeah.
What's his name?
I mean, this is a rebuilding year, right? They got a bunch of rookies. I mean, a rebuilding year, you always get your team.
You've got Devonta Smith. You've got
Quez Watkins.
I think it's a very young nucleus team, and it's going to depend a lot on Jalen Hurts, and so it comes down to whether or not you trust him, realistically.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe in a couple of years, but again, you also play in this dog shit division.
And they always play tough. It's one, and I'll be nice about the dog shit division. I'll be like, you know how it is. Like, it doesn't matter if it's like the Dolphins when they used to play the Patriots, right? Where, the Patriots could be like 14-0 and the Dolphins could have like 4 wins and they'd beat the Patriots, or it'd be a good game. I get it. You know how that is with the Packers and when they got to play the Vikings, those terrible
Well, that's
Bears.
them going 7-10 though. Like, what do you think there?
I said 6. I think they're going to go 6-11.
I like Devonta Smith. I like Jalen Reagor. Dallas Goedert's pretty good.
Tough schedule.
Shitty division. I think they could beat any team at any time. The over's -150 though. I'll go the under just because of the odds.
All right, so we're both going under. What's the dice doing?
Dice is going under as well. And then we're moving on to the Seahawks. Seahawks is at 10, -110 both ways.
The Seahawks are so weird to me. Every year, I feel like they're weirdly overrated, but they're not. You know what I mean? Russell Wilson is one of the greatest leaders. I won't say he's one of the greatest quarterbacks. I mean, he's very good, but he's a great leader, and he knows what he's doing here. I'm going over here because I think they're the best team in that division. I know people are going to say San Fran or something like that, but I'm not buying it. I go over all day long. I think they're going to win. I think they could be the AFC best record.
The NFC best record?
And the NFC, the AFC.
I think that's this team has been nothing but worse year in and year out. I feel like record aside, I get it. You can say that, but the more they play like year to year, the worse they seem to get, regardless of the record. Because last year you played against a terrible 49ers team, a terrible Cardinals team, and a Jared Goff Rams team. You don't get that this year. You get an improved Cardinals team. Kyler Murray going to his third year. I think he's going to be a lot better. You get a 49ers team. Trent Williams comes back. You have Garoppolo, who, look, he took you to a Super Bowl. You also have Trey Lance, who might just be the real deal. Looked great in preseason. And then you've got, if there's one quarterback consistently who gets the most praise from his peers, when I'm talking about Aaron Rodgers, I'm talking about Jay Cutler, and I'm talking about everyone who's ever played in the NFC East, Matthew Stafford is one of the most underrated quarterbacks we may ever see. Like, Matthew Stafford was doing the no-look pass before Patrick Mahomes was, like a long time before that. Matthew Stafford is an absolute gunslinger.
I'll agree with that.
And outside of Calvin Johnson, he's never had shit around him. He's never had a defense. He's never had a really good team there. You got Adrian Peterson at like 39 years old. Cool. So for this team to be around Matthew Stafford, because they won a lot of games with Jared Goff, and Matthew Stafford is 3 times the quarterback Jared Goff ever wanted to be. I think that team is going to be super tough. That being said, I think they go over 10 because they normally do.
Okay. Yeah, all right. So that's kind of the well thing, and you went over 10. That's kind of my thing too. Yeah. And listen, I think, and this is nothing towards your Packers, I think the Seahawks have a little bit of that in them where the Packers and you know this, get by, and sometimes they have the best record just because, and then they go in the playoffs and you're like, well, they're probably going to get beat because they're not the best team. That's what the Seahawks feel like to me a lot of times.
But the Seahawks division is right now is a lot tougher than
always is. I mean,
not always. I mean,
we'll get into the fact that we have divisions. But
I went over, you went over, Dice went over. LA Rams is, I just had it there and I forgot it. 10.5. Don't be dumb.
I want to go over because this is the division, those divisions that have remember when the South did it in the AFC when everybody won 10 or 11 games, the whole division, we're over 500. I feel like this could be that division in a sense. So I'll go over.
I'm over as well for obvious reasons, which you've heard me say. I would move this line to 13 if I could. I think
you probably can somewhere. That, right?
I say if you could. Like, I just mean, like, I don't know if you're on a sports book where you can do that, which I'm sure pretty much most of them will. I would move. Well, maybe not 13 because I think they win. I think they go about 13-4. But
I mean,
so I would move it to 12.5 at least. Yeah, move it up 2 games. I'm sure you get great up.
are we on the bringing in what they got Desean Jackson, right? Are we like that much like they're going to be that much better this year? Are you on that? See, I don't think they're going to be 13. I think 11 is going to be a good year for them.
I think the biggest switch, you still have a good defense, still got a good front seven. It's not like you've had great receivers. You've had Robert Woods, who's actually I coach, no big deal. You got like Cooper Kupp. You've got Cam Akers, who came alive last year in a time of need. So I think this offense, now that you take out Goff, who I've never been a fan of, and I said 2 years ago, once they switched the way they ran their play action passes, he was going to be exposed, and he was. He was never the same since. I cannot get behind a Jared Goff, especially once we get to the Lions. You'll see. I think this team is 3 times as better as it was when Jared Goff was under.
I will say before we go on to the next team, the only thing that scares me is Sony Michel and Desean Jackson. If that's your receiving core, that scares me a little bit. You can be as great. Like, once again, you're talking about, never had anybody around him, but I mean, are these great wide receivers at this point?
Well, so you think the receiving core is
well, you're talking about Stafford.
Sony Michel? Yeah.
Yeah. They I mean, who's their receivers?
Desean Jackson is going to be 3. Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp are still there.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, are we talking?
Sony Michel is also a running back, by the way. I don't know if you knew that.
Well, I know. I'm saying bringing in Sony Michel, like, that's your running back. And
yeah, dude. I mean, these guys have been solid. I mean, I think it's one of the more underrated receiving cores. We know it's not. I mean, they're not big personalities and they don't put up massive numbers, but they're used in so many different ways in that offense. I think. They're solid. Well, that's solid.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it like their losses, do they equal gains? And then, their gains, do they equal the losses? So
who did you lose?
Yeah, I think 11. I went over 2. I don't know about 13. I think that's a little high, but.
Well, I said I'd move it 12.5 to get 13.
All right. All right.
And I mean, not to mention, too, on the defense side of the ball, you still got Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey. Aaron Donald's the best at his position. Jalen Ramsey's second best of maybe only Jari Alexander.
I think Jalen Ramsey, though, is not good for a team, but we showed that in Jacksonville.
Well, he wasn't good in Jacksonville, but obviously he's been a lot more effective there. Did I see what the dice had? No. All right. So, yeah, the dice had the under on the Rams. Stupid dice. Right. And so the next one's going to be the Cardinals, which 8.5. Overs plus 105, under is minus 125.
Well, I think they're going to lose the first game of the season, and they're going to struggle early, but they'll scrap out 10 wins. Like I said, I think it's 9 or 10. Yeah, so they're going over. I'm going over with them.
Wow. I did not expect that from you.
Yeah. I think, well, they have DeAndre Hopkins now, right?
Yeah. J.J. Watt, you ever heard of him?
Yeah, I mean, how long can he play? But I mean, they're going to be exciting. They have a good offense, and I think they're going to beat up this division a little bit. I think they're going to at least split in this division, which is 3 wins. I think this division is going to beat the shit out of each other and then beat other divisions. I think it's a good division. As in, I don't know if there's a superstar, but also I think they can go anywhere and win. So I'm going to go 8.5. It seems low to me. So I think they can win 9 all day.
Well, I see on the schedule, I see the Titans to loss. I see the Browns to loss. Packers, that's a loss. They can beat the Bears. Colts, that's probably a loss. It's tough because I've been a big Kyler Murray fan for a while.
Yeah.
8's tough just because if Stafford didn't come in, and this was still a Jared Goff-led Rams team, I'd say the over all day. But who knows? I mean, they can still do it too. I'll say over. Let's go over. Yeah. Because actually, I do have kind of a strong opinion on the next team. I have the dice has the over as well. So our next team, which is pretty interesting, is the San Francisco 49ers.
San Fran 49ers.
10.5.
I'm going under. I know everybody's jumping on San Fran, and I think I'm not there. I'm not there, and I got to go under with one of these teams in this division. Really, I'm really not there. I know you are going to go heavy on them. And what you said 10.5, right?
10.5.
Yeah, I'm going under, and it might be 10, but I'm going under there. I mean, once again, really tough division. I don't think there's much difference between them and Arizona. So if I'm going 10 with Arizona, I got to go 10 with San Francisco. And I'm going to stick to that.
You think I'm going to go heavy on them?
I thought you were.
Oh, no, I think they win 6 games.
Oh, okay.
I think there's nothing about this team that I can trust, especially too. Now Shanahan's kind of thinking about like, hey, let's do a dual quarterback system, which people are kind of speculating right now, which I don't think is going to happen. But if that's the case, like what team have you ever seen the NFL win with 2 quarterbacks rotating in and out? My high school did that, and we did good, but that was high school.
Yeah.
Like if you think for 2 seconds,
I still think it's
like
stupid even that.
I get if you go like let's keep Jimmy in there. We have a few packages for Trey Lance, sort of like a Taysom Hill, Drew Brees thing.
Well, yeah, like put Mariota in before.
I get that. But here's the thing, though. Your number one is still Jimmy Garoppolo. Now, Jimmy Garoppolo is a teammate of mine, and I hope he never hears it because he'll probably hate me forever. But I doubt he even remembers.
Sure, he does.
Yes. Yeah. No kidding. I'm going to text him and just be like, dude, watch this show and just watch me bury you. Jimmy Garoppolo is so weird because I think this team, even though he led them to the promised land, didn't get them there, didn't get the win, but led them there. That was a much different team. That was a team where he only had to throw 7 or 9 passes against the Green Bay Packers to beat them in the NFC Championship game. This is not that team. I don't think it's a bad team, but at 10.5, I think this is like a 9, 10 at max, borderline playoff team. Defense is not, I don't think it's near where it was 3 years ago. I'm going under big time. So the dice is on the under with me as well, but I think Trey Lance is better than this team for Jimmy G. I'm sorry, but I really do because I think he's the future. I don't think Jimmy G gets you there.
Yeah, and listen, you get an extra win for anybody on your team named Debo, by the way.
Samuel?
Yeah. But no, I agree. I think the under there, I mean, I got to go under somewhere. I think this is a very tough division. I think this is a black and blue division. They're going to beat each other up pretty well.
That's what I mean. Like if Jared Goff wasn't, or if Matthew Stafford wasn't in here now, so you got now you're asking Jimmy G to beat out Matthew Stafford and the Rams, who were already good.
Well, yeah,
and Russell Wilson.
It's like the AFC South when Luck retired. It was like all of a sudden it's a different ball game in that division, and that's kind of what it is adding somebody as well.
It's like it's the opposite, right?
Yeah. It's like the opposite.
Luck's gone now. It's like, oh well, now you got a guy. So
yeah, sure.
All right, so the next one, you'll love this one. The Green Bay Packers at 10.5.
Enough said. Under 1 win, maybe.
You're doing
I'm joking, of course. Okay. Listen, here's the thing with Green Bay, and I won't be biased at all. They're always the best team in a bad division. Most of the time. So you have to look at it like 10 wins, and I think they'll win 11 games. I don't think it'll be more than that. I think they're going to be the same team that, well, we'll see. By the end of the year, it's a whole different ball game. But I think they're gonna be that team that you don't think's like good, but you might think they're good because they have a good record, like they've done before, AJ, and you know that. And I think they do it again. And I think this over is fairly easy, really. I think the over is easy. And I don't think they're going to bury the over. I think if anything, I get a push. I don't have the half, so you give me 10. I'm taking it all day. But I think this over is easy because I think they win 11 or 12 games, at least 10. So I'll take the over.
Well, to me, this is pretty easy. This team isn't a hell of a lot different between last year and the year before. And this is a team that's won 13 games 2 years in a row. Now you give them an extra game, especially let's look at the extra games. The Bengals, the Washington football team, the Cardinals. They do have to play the Chiefs. That'll be tough. They do have to play the Niners. That probably not. The Rams will be tough. The Browns and the Saints, and obviously.
Okay, AJ, do you know
the Steelers?
Who is their extra? How did we determine this extra game?
What do you mean?
Because before it was you play your schedule,
your division
that came in.
Yeah. They said the Chiefs was the Packers' extra game this year.
That's shitty for the Packers.
Well, it's no more shitty than Dallas having to go to play Tampa week 1.
Is that their extra game too?
Yeah. I don't know if it's their extra game, but usually the Super Bowl champ doesn't play a team that won like.
And now you get an extra home game. It's so weird. Listen, if I had it my way, I'm going to say this right now. They should have kept 16 games, and I hate divisions, and we'll get into that because I think it's so slighted and bullshit. The only people who like divisions are Green Bay fans and New England fans. I'll tell you that right now, and everybody can agree with that. But if they just you play your own AFC, NFC, and you play one team from the other division, bang, 16 games, done. How great would that be? That's it. Fuck divisions. Make it like 1 through whatever makes the playoffs and go. That's my theory.
Yeah, it's a lot different now, obviously, because they're playing the NFC East.
But how'd they figure it out?
Or AFC East.
How'd they figure it out?
I don't know. They had this whole like reveal thing for it a long time ago. The Packers, they got stuck with the Chiefs. It's probably a market thing, and it's probably
that's kind of
obviously the Packers got stuck with the Chiefs. How do you think they decided?
They should roll that dice. That's what they should do.
Like you get to play Jacksonville or you get to play Kansas City. Oh, Jacksonville. Cool.
Perfect. Yeah, exactly. They should do something. Draw names out of a hat. Make it a draft. It's silly. But I just came in my head. Like, how did they determine that? All right, so you're over. I'm over. What are the dice?
Yeah. Dice was under.
Dice is under. Dice is not a Packers fan. Don't blame him.
It's not. It's just been living with me for a couple.
Too long.
Yeah, way too long.
All right.
So obviously the next one then is the Chicago Bears, which the over-under is set at 7.5.
Who they playing?
They played the Rams week 1.
So they're playing the NFC, or is that they're playing that they're extra?
Well, it's the same division, so they play.
So they play in that division.
That way, they play the Browns, the Ravens, the Raiders.
7.5. I'm going to go with they're going to win 8 games. I'm going over.
What you might find surprising is I think they do too. 7.5. You're talking about it like this team made the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
And they won. What was it? 3 or 4 games to start the season. They were 4-0. But Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah, a good defense. A good defense. Yeah.
And the defense is taking a slighter hit. But I think and it's weird to say this, but Andy Dalton's an upgrade over what they had last year. Over Nick Foles and Mitch Trubisky. Are you kidding me? Mitch Trubisky, I have a long laundry list of things I think about him because I do think they just used him so terribly. And he was a lot better. And he fits more the Buffalo's offense. Like, so Buffalo found the perfect backup there. But I think Andy Dalton's a much bigger step up. than the two
Yeah.
guys they tried
And
tried to
you have
rotate
Justin
to.
Fields behind him, correct? So
Real and who's looked good in the preseason. Not,
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a little bit oversaturated in how much people like him. But no, I think this is an over scenario just because also the Lions are downgraded. Minnesota could be all right. But so that being said, I'll tell you what the Dice thinks. Dice thinks they're going over as well. And then let's move on to the Vikings.
All right. Minnesota is such a weird team to me.
8.5.
It is every year. I'm going to go under. I think, I know your boy Kirk Cousins. Sorry to offend him. I know that's your boy and everything, AJ.
That's my boy.
Yeah.
My boy is actually on the bench there. I love Kellen Mond.
We'll see.
We got in the third round. I like him a lot.
I mean, Dalvin Cook, are we going to just go everything with him? You know what I mean? I just think this division isn't terrible. I think you have 4 losses here, or at least, you have 3 losses. You're going to split with one of the Packers, the Bears, and you're going to sweep the other. Get swept by the other. So using 3 there, I think it's tough to go over to Pittsburgh, Cleveland division. Yeah, I got to go under the 9. I think this is an 8-win team, 7-8-win team.
I'm very much on the fence about this one, to be honest, because I think they're going to be fairly close, but it's going to largely depend on that shitty secondary. Like, is Rashad Breeland going to be is any good? Is Anthony Barr, who's questionable for week 1? There's a lot of questions on defense for them. Like Daniel Hunter, like their line is semi-average. A lot of questions on defense. Offensively, I get it. We all like Justin Jefferson. He does really good. So, like, does he, who already had a great rookie season, like, even if he progresses next year, does he win you more games? Did Dalvin Cook not do everything he could last year to win you more games?
Exactly.
And they won 7. Now you're going to 8. You get an extra game, but I still think you win 7-8, and 8.5 is the line. So I got to go under.
Oh, it's not 9? I thought that was 9.
8.5.
Oh, well, either way, whatever.
Yeah, obviously. And of course, the dice says over. Go figure.
Yep.
All right. So we'll finish off that division with Detroit, which the over is at 5.
God, it's Detroit. They do seem to show up sometimes, don't they? But
yes, but that was with a really good quarterback.
I gotcha. What are my notes on Detroit? Hold on one second. I think that's a good number. Did you say, what is it? 4.5 or 4?
5.
Oh,
exactly.
5? Under. Under them. It's not even a question. I was balking at it, but 5. I don't know where you're going to find 5 wins. And I look at their schedule right here, and their defense was the worst in the league last year. And I'd say it's not because Tennessee's was pretty bad.
Like, you're playing the 49ers week 1, you probably lose that. You're playing the Packers, you lose that. You play the Ravens, you're going to lose that. You probably lose the Bears. Vikings might be a toss-up. Bengals is a toss-up. You're losing to the Rams. Toss-up to the Eagles, or you're losing to the Steelers. You're losing to the Browns. Bears, probably losing to them too. And then you're just playing the Broncos and the Falcons and the Cardinals.
So 4 is probably a good number with that schedule.
4 is probably a good number, but I think you'd have to.
That's a high number. I think 4 is a high number. Yeah. So
you got things to get, like, you got to have a lot of things go right for you, I think, to do that. Don't get me wrong. Motor City Dan Campbell, I think, is going to be an absolute disaster in Detroit, which is especially why I'm going to take the under. Dan Campbell, the guy who's going to break kneecaps and that whole thing up there.
Yeah,
I think he's going to be a disaster there. An absolute disaster. Like, there's nothing about me that makes me think to myself, this coach is going to win a lot of games, because he just seems like an idiot. I can't see that happening. So, I'm under 2. Okay, one more division. We'll wrap that up quick. First one is New Orleans. Ooh, let me find it. New Orleans is at 9 right now.
New Orleans at 9. I mean, can I believe in Jameis Winston? Do I think he's going to put up big numbers?
He got LASIK.
LASIK for the first time.
He hasn't started a season without LASIK.
Yeah, I don't. I'm going to go yes. I'm going to say they're going to go over, and it's going to have nothing to do with Jameis Winston. Is never going to be a winner. He's never going to win in the long term.
Wow.
But are they going to win 10 games?
Wow.
Yeah, I think they are. I think they're going to be better than people think. I think Kamara there is going to have a big year. And I think Jameis Winston is going to throw up some serious numbers. I mean, they're going to be weirdly bad, but high. And he's going to sling it in that offense. And Kamara's going to have, I think they're going to be like a bad version of the Titans. You know what I mean? A worse version of the Titans. So I'm going to go over just because you're going to get to, I'm not going to be on the Bucs very much. So
I think this is over 9 just because Jameis Winston took that Bucs team that was really the Bucs before the Bucs to 8-8, and he threw 33 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
If he takes 10 off of that and still throws 33, this team can easily win 12 games.
Yeah.
Especially the only problem is, and I'll say this, is you gotta go play the Packers week 1 in Jacksonville. You're going to be without a home stadium early on, and you're going to be without Michael Thomas for your first probably 4 or 5 games. So let's chalk up the Packers as a loss. Let's say you're still good enough to beat the Panthers. Let's say you're playing a rookie in his 3rd game in the Patriots, and then you're playing the Giants. If you can go 2-2 in those first 4 games, maybe get Michael Thomas back by mid-October against Washington, who I think you could beat even without him. 3-2, Michael Thomas comes back. I mean, look what I just think Jameis with Alvin Kamara behind him, Michael Thomas on his outside, I think he can do really good things, and I think that this is an easily, like, if it all depends to me for the first couple of weeks how they do without Michael Thomas. Like, that's big. Like, you have to be 2-2 or better coming into October. You have to be. If not, then you're screwed. Because then you're just gonna be playing from behind. If you're already 0-4, I mean, let's just chalk it up. Because then at that point they're probably gonna bring Taysom Hill, give him an opportunity, and it'll be an absolute mess. So Jameis needs to be 2-2 going into week 5, or this is over. But I think he will be, because LASIK maybe he sees better. I don't know. But 9 seems like a reasonable thing, especially if I'm getting over 9 at plus 125.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. And Sean Payton, I mean, that's the X factor there. Jameis Winston never had somebody like Sean Payton. So
he's a little like, I mean, he's always had Drew Brees, obviously, but he's a little like Mike Tomlin to me, where it just seems like he's always going to win 9-10 games.
Yeah.
Every single time. And that's in the old system. The dice say under. And then we're going to go to your favorite right after that. We're going to go to Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Who is at 11.5.
I think big drop down this year for Tampa Bay. I think we've seen it a million times. Like we talked about, they bounce. This is a bounce for them. I think they should have a big asterisk near their name because of the COVID year. That wasn't a great team. They didn't even win their division last year. Let's just put it that way. This isn't like this world beater team, and I think that's why they're 11.5. But I think they're going to be a 10-win team. So I'm going under.
All right, you're going under. You get an extra game. You won 11 last year. You get another game. I want to say it's not they can't do it, but you have the Panthers and the Falcons in your division still. I can't I'll pretty much know like what happens when Tom Brady goes back up to Gillette. And then he comes back the next week and plays his old foe, the Dolphins, who seem to find a way to beat him all the time. You got to play the Bills. You got to play the Colts. You got to play some decent teams. Your division sucks. So I do think you can win 12 because 12 is what 12-5 now. Oh, that's tough. That's a good number to me. It really is.
Great number.
You start off with a cakewalk. God, and I mean it's the same team from last year who got hot. I'm gonna go over. I'll go over.
Okay.
They should win 12. Dice agrees with me, and then we'll go to the last. We really saved the best for last year with Carolina, who is. I don't know if you got it in front of you.
Carolina. I have them at 7.5.
There it is. Carolina 7.5.
Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Does that equal wins here? I'm going to go with no. I think they'll be around the 7.5. I don't think they're going to be like we talked about, those 4-win teams or everything like that. I think they'll be around it. I think it'll be 6 or 7. But if you give me 7.5, they might be 7 all day long. Yeah. I think they're going to be a 5 to 7 win team. Yeah, I mean, if we talk like Winston's going to do something, obviously Tampa Bay is going to be okay. 7 wins is good for me. 7 and 10, I think is a good number. So I'll go under.
7's is a solid number, and I think it's the over. Just because I think Sam Darnold was put in an impossible situation in the worst franchise we've seen in the last 5, 6, 7 years. The New York Jets were abysmal. I mean, they gave him no room to grow whatsoever. And here's the thing: they played the Jets week 1 at home. They have to go to the Saints. We don't know really what they're going to do. And then they get Houston back. There's a good opportunity this team could be 3, 4, 5-0 because they played the Cowboys and the Eagles right after that. This team could be 5-0 week 5. It really could. If it happened, it would not surprise me. You get to 5-0 and all of a sudden, I think you can hit that over.
Good call. It's a good call. I didn't look at the schedule. It's a good call.
The dice says under. And then we'll finish off with the Falcons at 7.5.
God, the Falcons are so. Every prediction anybody has, it goes the opposite way every year. Correct? That's what they do.
Yeah, they're very. Good
I think under. I don't think they're very good. Take out Julio Jones. Kyle Pitts, right? They've added him.
Kyle Pitts, yep.
Yeah.
They still got Gage and Ridley.
Yeah, but I just don't think, they had their chance last year and they weren't, you know what I mean? Then they weren't good. So I'm going under. I'm 7.5. I'm going under all day there. I'm going under with them as well.
Yeah, I am too. It's hard when and I know everyone, and we're going to talk about props here in 1 second. I know it's hard when people are like, oh, well, Julio's gone. Calvin Ridley is going to have a massive year. Well, Calvin Ridley was really good because they had Julio Jones on the other side of him. And is Russell Gage that way? No. Mm-hmm. I think he has a better year than Calvin Ridley almost. So I think his numbers decline. I think everyone's numbers decline. I think the whole organization's a mess. They should have probably got Matt Ryan out if they could have and just gone straight rebuild. You've got a great player in Kyle Pitts, but how often does a tight end make an immediate impact on an alien franchise? Never. I think that's
Aaron Hernandez made a big impact around New England.
I said an alien franchise. That was well, I apologize to everyone who's still watching and will watch this because let's maybe never bring up his name.
Oh yeah, okay. So, but they did their defense. They give up 6.2 yards per play last year. So let's just look at it that way. And I'm going under all day. I actually think this might be one of the easier bets for the under. I think Atlanta's going to be a bad team. Possibly the worst team in the.
They will compete for the first overall pick.
Yes, they'll be top 3.
I mean, they were better last year and they only won 4 games. So,
yeah,
100%. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So I've got that all written down. We all say under. The dice. Last pick of the day also says under. We all be under there. So moving on.
We'll put out these for everybody. We'll post them. See how
It's
we
going to
do.
take me forever and a day to type that up, but
Yeah, but it's going to happen. We'll do it halfway through the season and we'll change it. So no one's watching anyway. So no big deal. All right, so let's go right on to it.
We'll see. We'll see when.
Yeah, let's just wrap this one up. So we'll do a prop bet real quick. I think we gave away our division winners because we basically talked about it.
Yeah. Real quick on that. The only ones, like, I'm going to give you just a few value picks there for division winners. Obviously, New England at plus 360 to win that division. Is it the Bills division? They're minus 155 right now, possibly. The Titans minus 110. They're the favorite, but they should be.
Barely. They shouldn't be?
No, they should be.
Oh, it shouldn't be.
No, they should be. The Chiefs are at minus 290 right now. The Chargers are plus 490. That's an interesting.
Not a bad play. Not a bad play.
I mean, you're getting a decent amount there. The NFC East, I would just draw out of a hat. And the Rams right now, if you're on me with Matthew Stafford, they are plus 200. The Seahawks are currently the favorite.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Well, they won it last year.
Not a bad play.
Yeah. Any thoughts on division winners for you outside of that?
No. Outside of that, I think New England's a good bet. If you want to go against the Bills, I mean, for price. I mean, I get why the Bills are favored. The Titans at 110, I think that's almost automatic. I mean, I can't imagine them not winning that division.
I believe they're like the lowest division winner.
Yeah.
Except for Baltimore's plus 115.
I wouldn't touch that division because
I would randomly go Cleveland or Pittsburgh. Cleveland's plus 155 and Pittsburgh's plus 440.
Well, I went the under with
and
Pittsburgh.
They won it last year.
Cleveland. I'd go Cleveland if anybody, but yeah, I wouldn't touch that division like I said before. Nobody crazy there. I think Tennessee's a steal at that price, but they get no love. But what's Green Bay? They must be pretty high up.
Minus 165.
That's actually not a bad bet either.
Washington football team plus 220. Dallas is
I'll go Dallas or them with that division. I don't think the Eagles or the Giants are going to win that division.
Yeah.
But
Eagles and Giants odds are pretty much the same. Tampa's minus 240. The Saints might be interesting at plus 440.
That's not a bad play. That's a good play. I'd probably play that play with me saying they're going to bounce and the Saints are going to be better. It's going to be close. When I say bounce, they could both win 10 games and lose the division. So,
to who? Right. Carolina?
No, New Orleans.
No, I thought you said the Saints and the Bucks would bounce.
Oh, no. I mean, the Bucks would bounce. The Saints could win 10 games. But all right, so let's go on to our prop bet of the year.
You want me to go?
Yeah.
All right. I got a couple. Well, I didn't know. You're the one who wanted to move it on, so I thought you were going to take charge. All right. So I got a couple, actually. One of mine is Chase Young to win Defensive Player of the Year at plus 800. He's, I think, a third favorite right now, but I think Chase Young is about to have an absolute massive season because this Washington defense is only better. The offense, obviously, we've seen what Fitzpatrick could do. They're going to have a lot more support on the opposite side of the ball, so they're not going to be on the field probably 90% of the time. It felt like they were in a lot of those games, even though they did win the division. I think Chase Young at 8-1, really good slot there. And here's my big long shot. Hold on. Big long shot. Aaron Jones to get the most rushing touchdowns. And I know you're going to have an opposite opinion to me, but it's 25-1. 2 years ago, Aaron Jones and Derrick Henry tied for the most rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
Let's think about this for a second.
All you need with a running back is him to get hurt for a couple games, and now the running back doesn't. That's not a bad play at 25-1.
you get Jamal Williams is gone, and obviously A.J. Dillon might take a lot more short yardage situations away from Aaron Jones, but that was never his bread and butter, and Jamal Williams did a lot of those anyway. You ship him out. Aaron Jones, the clear number one back, I think he's going to have a career year because you only got a second-year player behind him who I know everyone in Green Bay likes him. I'm not like super sold on he's going to be the guy right now like Jamal Williams was, that number 2 running back spot. Offensive line might be a little bit of a question, but until Bakhtiari gets back. But I think 25-1 for a guy who just tied the most rushing touchdowns, 2 years ago. I think that's pretty good odds there. And then Justin Herbert's over/under of touchdown passes right now is 28. He had 31 last year. You give him an extra game, and you get rid of Anthony Lynn's terrible play calling. I think he should be well over that.
All right. No, that all makes sense. I'm homering it all day here with mine too. And I think if you did this with your 2, because it's going to be one or the other, I think, with this offense, and that's the Titans. And I'm homering it here, but Derrick Henry at 40-1. They owe him one too. Let's face it. When you win Offensive Player of the Year, we'll go on about that. I mean, I know it's a quarterback thing. You win Offensive Player of the Year, but some reason a quarterback that's on offense as well wins MVP. Makes no sense to me ever. But, it's hard for a running back to do. But I feel like if no quarterback has an outstanding season and Derrick Henry puts up the numbers he could put up, he wins at 40-1. That's crazy to me. To get a guy who you could argue should have won it, correct, AJ? You could say he could have won it last year, right? I mean,
Aaron Rodgers had one of the greatest seasons that quarterbacks ever had, so no.
Yeah, but Derrick Henry also had one of the greatest seasons of running backs ever had. So, we could talk about this forever. Where I think Aaron Rodgers' stats will be duplicated a million times in the next 10 years. Where I don't know if Derrick Henry's will, because we might stop seeing this. What he's doing. But give me him at 40-1 and give me Tannehill at 25-1 because I think it could be one of another and the best offense in the game. Doesn't mean they're going to win it. Doesn't mean whatever, but they have the best offense. So give me them both.
Wait, who would you have at 40-1?
Derrick Henry plus 4,000, isn't he?
He's at plus 2,800 right now.
Oh, 2,800.
28.
Okay. I have the old one from Wynn Casino. Thanks a lot, Wynn. But I'll still take it. I'll still take them both at 25 and 28. Just because I think it's going to come out of the highest powered offenses, which usually it does. Aaron Rodgers had one of the highest powered offenses last year, and that's why he won. So give me those 2 guys for those. And I think if those guys were Cowboys, they'd be 8-1 and 9-1.
Well,
right.
Dak's probably already got better odds than Tannehill.
Yeah.
There's something to what you're saying. When you had the best rushing offense last year, and then you bring in one of the most high-profile wide receivers, it's either going to be one of 2 things. Tannehill's going to go off or Derrick Henry's going to go off.
Yeah.
Like one of those 2. And then you get great odds on both of them. I don't disagree with you whatsoever. It's always hard, though. I would lean towards Tannehill more just because Derrick Henry – when's the last time we've seen back-to-back 2,000-yard rushers? I think –
Never.
Exactly. Derrick Henry could be the first one to do it. And if he did, it would not surprise me.
Well, it's 17 games now, so it's a slighted stat. Like, I believe he will do it because it's another game. I mean, if anybody's going to do it.
It used to be, I believe, rushing for 1,000 yards. Yeah, rushing for 1,000 yards was only like 65 yards a game. Rushing for 2,000 was, like 120, which – let's say that what would you think the new standard would be for 2,000 if you had another extra game? 22?
Yeah, probably like 113, 114 a game. I don't know what the math is. Divide it, I guess. What is
No, I'm saying what's that cool number? Like you have 1,000 yards, you got 1,500, you got 2,000.
I say it's like 1,750 now is going to be the
well, not the 2,000. That's the 1,500 yard mark.
That's a 2. Yeah. That's the
2,000 one would be like what? 20.
No, I guess
20.
It's one extra game, so you just add on 100 yards, so it's 1,600, 90, 85, 90 yards.
Like
a game.
2,000 yard season would now equivalent to what? Like 2,200.
Yeah. Well, yeah, 21 at least. 21. Another 100-yard game. 21.50.
something like that.
Which I think is even harder because it's an extra game. So you can't even expect somebody to go 200 yards in 17 games so they get beat the piss out of.
The best thing you can do is find someone who doesn't know that the season's going to go an extra game and be like, Derrick Henry run for 2,000 yards again. Like, no way. No one's ever done that
back
before.
to back, and you got an extra game.
Yeah.
Which we'll probably be sitting for, by the way. Let's just face it. But
if anybody wants to take that bet, we are all for it.
As long as you listen to the first part.
Any more props or want to move?
No, that's the only props I really.
I will say one more. I do think it's 5-1 right now for Mac Jones to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. That might seem preemptive just because he looked the best in the preseason, but this is a guy who got Cam Newton cut, and Cam Newton's won an MVP
he's going to play in
before.
New England with Belichick's.
He's going to play. He's probably going to play on like the best team.
Yeah, he's
one of the better teams.
Belichick's going to protect him to make him not. I mean, he's done it with everybody. Listen, there's one thing with Belichick. I mean, Jacoby Brissett got a contract. Garoppolo got a contract. He made Tom Brady who Tom Brady is. I mean, let's face it. Like, if you're going to go into an offense, he's going to protect you, and he's going to make you the best quarterback you can be. It's just what it is. So, and as a rookie, he doesn't have to be that good.
Not to mention the confidence boost you have to have knowing now, like Cam Newton's not behind you. Like you don't have to worry about him there. They cut him. They cut a former MVP to make you the star.
I think he pulled a Hitchcock. I think they knew we were going to cut him the whole time, but he wanted to build the confidence up of Jones to say, look what we did for you.
After they didn't give him a number for like
and
the
for
first
everybody
2
who
weeks
doesn't
of
know, Alfred
preseason.
Hitchcock used to fire somebody right away that he knew first day on set. So that's what I'm referring to.
Especially so Mac Jones showed up the first like week and a half of preseason. He wore the number 50 in practice. They didn't even give him a number to like the first game.
Make him feel like you're not going to make it. Then be like, no, you're the man.
Yeah. Solid
always
move.
games. Belichick always mind games.
Mac Jones, I don't know what the MVP odds, but I mean, shit. It's not like we've never seen that before.
Yeah. So is that all for us? That's it, right?
That's all. Well, let's talk about Thursday real fast. I know.
Thursday night. Yeah, Thursday night game because it's going out. Let's do it. We'll clip
24 hours
Thursday night game for everybody if they want to watch this at any time they can. So Thursday night game, we have the America's team against the new America's team, pretty much because of Tom Brady, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What do you think, AJ? What are you doing here?
So easily to me, the biggest bet here, and I've got a bunch of notes written down. I'm just going to try to filter through some of these tabs that I don't need anymore. The big thing to me too is the under. 52 is just massively too high for
first
an
week
opener.
Too, yeah. First
opener
week.
On Thursday night, especially.
Yeah.
Because Thursday night, if there's one thing we learned kind of last year, Thursday nights were so screwy. Like, I think Jacksonville had their only win on Thursday night, which is going to lead me to say something a little bit different here, too. So the under 52, that's easy. The last 5 times these two teams have met, the under has hit in all 5 of those times. I'll take the first half under, too, at 25.5, which is even money right now. I mean, to think that in the first half, I mean, every game we seem to watch, it's always like, well, it fucking sucks for a while. And then teams start to figure each other, make those halftime adjustments and come back and start to score points, usually in the second half. So I'll go under 52 for the game and under 25.5 for the first half. No, you go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, I mean, there's 2 things that could happen. It could be really sloppy and be a shootout because, that's what happens. But I agree with the under here. But I'm not going to go on the under. I'm going with the Cowboys. Give me this. I love the hook here because I do think either they're going to catch up late. I'm not a big Bucks believer. Yeah, I know they're returning 22 starters. That's great. But I don't think their starters were that good last year. I know they won the Super Bowl. I get it. But I just don't think the Cowboys are over a touchdown. I don't think they're a touchdown better than a lot of teams, not the Cowboys. Not that the Cowboys are great, but opening week, it's going to be close. I wouldn't be surprised if they lose by a field goal or even 7. You give me the hook at 7.5, taking it all day long.
I mean,
How
that
great
line's
the
moved.
boys.
That line's at 8.5 some places right now too, though.
All right. Yeah. Everybody's pounding it. That's fine. Give me it. And because a lot of reasons you said. First week, Thursday night, what are they going to do even if they go up by 14? They're going to go in a shell. There's going to be guys like running around. I don't care. I know Brady, first full off season. Tom Brady hasn't had a full off season with any team in the last 10 years. He does what Tom Brady does. I mean, let's face it. Do I think that's going to make a big difference? No. So give it to me. Give me the Cowboys, though. If you give me 8.5 all day, give me the money line. The Cowboys might beat them. I'll sprinkle something on the money line here. But I'm going to play the Cowboys here. And first week of the year, it's you can make some money on things like that. But I'm not a believer that the Bucs are world beaters and the Cowboys are that bad. So if you're going to give me over a touchdown, any team in the first week, you give me over a touchdown, they better prove to me they're bad.
I will say this: I wouldn't go as far as the money line.
No.
I mean, you're getting a bit. I mean, it's going to be a lot because this line keeps moving. This line opened at 6.5. It's now at 8.5 some places. So you're going to get good odds. But this is the Cowboys we're talking about. They could play great for 3.5 quarters. They will probably end up blowing it because it's the Cowboys, and that's typically what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Even Dak last year, Dak put together 2 good games out of the 5 he played. And even one, they let the other team get down 26-7. So the under, I had to think, because I don't even, Dallas might not score. I love this Bucs defense. Dallas might only put up 7 points the entire game. So it wouldn't surprise me. The under, I feel safe. The Cowboys opener has gone under 4 the last 5 times. Dak's been the starter. Here's what concerns me. I really, really want to take the Cowboys at +8. If this line moves any more between now and tomorrow, I will take it. The Bucs are 4-0 against the spread in their last 4 home games, 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 overall games. But I'm going to throw out some awesome stats that makes me concerned. Tampa Bay, 1-6 against the spread in their last 7 Thursday games. The Cowboys are 4-0 in the last 4 games against the spread as an underdog. The underdog is 4-0 against the spread in the last 4 meetings these 2 teams have had. The road team is 5-1 against the spread in the last 6 meetings between these 2. All signs, when you look in depth enough, say the Cowboys should cover here. And as long as this line keeps moving, what concerns me is right now the Bucs are only taking 54% of the money, and the line moves. It was higher yesterday.
Well, somebody put on, yeah.
I want to say it was closer to 70 some yesterday. And if that's any higher tomorrow, I'm gonna pound the Cowboys at +8, 8.5, whatever I can get them at. Look, man, first week, everyone in the entire world, when you listen to radio shows, ESPN, NFL Network, whatever it may be, everyone thinks it's a lock the Buccaneers win this. But for some reason, when everyone in the world thinks that's going to happen, it never does. And the Cowboys will find some way to stay within 8 points. So I would take the Cowboys here. I think Zeke's rushing prop right now is at 55.5. I would take that as well because and an anytime touchdown score is -105. I think he'll have a good game, especially given the fact that Dak missed most of last year, hurt himself in the preseason. Coming in now, I think they're going to ride that train. So I think Zeke probably has a big game. I don't like Zeke at all, but I think he does a good game. So, yeah, I would take, hard under. Give me the Cowboys at 8.5. Any lower than that, I'm going to have to reconsider. And the under in the first half at 25.5.
All right. And also, a fun fact here, the Cowboys are 3-0 against Super Bowl champions in week 1. Boom.
Bam. It's weird. It's weird. Everyone in the world.
1970, but
Still, though, I mean, and like I said, the last meetings that the teams have had, obviously they're a lot different. Tom Brady wasn't on those teams last time, but for some reason they find a way to cover every single time. Like there's so many weird trends in there that just makes me think, well, I got to go for it.
So you're going with the under and the Cowboys with the points.
Under Cowboys.
Under Cowboys taking the points.
Yeah, money line.
I agree with that. I mean, just because I think it might be sloppy, I might stay away from the under. And like I said, maybe I'll sprinkle in the Cowboys on a money line with 2 I think are going to win on Sunday. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. My number one play is the under. 52 is way too high. Like I know everyone wants to think it's going to be a shootout, but you're talking about a possibly hurt Dak. And it's not like Tom Brady's like this massive gunslinger. He's going to dink and dunk, and they're going to score 25 points at most.
Yeah.
So, and the defense might hold them to 17. I don't think they get anywhere near 52.
Yeah, I mean, makes sense. Makes sense. All right. So AJ, let's move on. Let's move on to the end of the show. And we are going to do promise to be a lot shorter show, but this is our preview show.
This season preview. It's going to go long.
Yeah, we're going to rip off. We're going to give our 3 best plays of the day, maybe 4, who knows, every week. And we're going to give maybe a fantasy player of the week and have some cool guests on. Every week, we're going to do a show that tells you what our parlay is every week and anything else besides that, AJ.
No, yeah, join us. I know we haven't necessarily worked on a time, but I know we're going to shoot for a typical Friday afternoon, correct?
Yeah. And we do it. We do our horse racing show, of course. Stay tuned for that. And then we'll rip off the football show that we'll tape. And we'll give you our picks of the week and talk some horse racing. Yeah, we'll do that too, but that's a different show. We'll talk some football with everybody. And also we're going to try to get we did a little thing last time, what I thought was pretty cool when we had a Monday night matchup thing. And so if we can get some people out to rep their teams and come on here either against us or another person to rep their teams for the Monday night games that we'll do every week, that'll be a lot of fun. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah. Anybody interested, hit us up at Triple Clowns on Twitter or DGen Nation or in the comments, and we'll get you on, argue your team. We'll see what happens. Absolutely.
It'd be a lot of fun. All right, AJ. So for us, the Triple Clowns, it's me, G. Randall Johnson, and of course the Truck Stop Burrito, AJ Ryder, and we're doing football, and that was kind of fun. So hope you enjoyed. See you later, everybody.